Here is another video that was inspired by your comments and questions, and it has something to do with storage. And for those of you who want to and need to convert your garage attic space into a storage area, and you're having a difficult time, installing the floor joists, your new floor joists. And I understand you got the roof sheathing in the way. The roof rafters are too small. It's difficult to get a 2x10 in here and notch it to where the engineer is not going to be happy with it. You take a big chunk out of it and do this with the roof sheathing and the roofing in the way. And a lot of people ask, I've been receiving this question a lot, how do I do this? I have this situation, like it's different, and it isn't. It's difficult to get new floor joists into these areas. And my suggestion would be to simply build the floor below the framing plates. This is going to reduce the ceiling area. And of course, this could be a problem. If you're taller, you might not want to do this. If you're 6'9", this isn't going to make you happy. But again, it might. It all depends on what you're looking for. If you need the storage space, you can duck when you go under your lights or ceiling fans when you are in the garage. So make sure that you are going to need an opening. Make sure that it is positioned in a good spot. Don't put it in the way of the garage door opener. And, if you're going to have lighting around, something like that, put the garage or put the opening in the area where it is going to be the most convenient. I put it in the center because if you're in the center here, you can get up here and push stuff from the center in these directions. If you're over here, it seems like we tend to fill this section up, and this section won't get filled up. Or you'll end up burying something over here. You got a box over here you only use once every 2 or 3 years, and you got 50 boxes in the way. And your opening's over here. You got to move all of these boxes to get to this opening. That's not going to be very convenient. So the ledger can be attached with 16D nails, 3 or 4 of them, and hangers, standard hangers. If you're using 2x10 joist, then make sure that you use 2x10 hangers. You can always use lag screws for your connection. This is probably what an engineer is going to recommend, 2 or 3 of them. I can't provide you with any engineering information. However, I can provide you with things I have seen in the past, which is or I've done myself in the past. So lag screws, I've seen that. I've seen them nailed just with regular 16Ds, 3 nails per stud before. And the stuff probably still standing. I say probably because I'm not touring around these old jobs that I've seen done in the past. So the ledger on the side, it's going to need to be attached to the wall framing studs. A lot of times, this is going to help with your perimeter of the building to make it stronger. The opening, of course, and how it's going to be built with doublers on each end, double hangers here. And this, of course, can be a variety of different sizes. Another view of the other side. Let's go ahead and sheet it real fast. Our opening. And of course, if you look right here, we've got a little notch out of the plywood. And here the plywood is moved over a little bit. And that will make sense once I take and install the roof rafters. So you might need to either move the subflooring back. And another thing you can do is lower the entire floor to where the top of the subflooring is going to be even with the top of the framing plates. That would be about the easiest thing to do to solve this problem here. Otherwise, you might end up notching around the roof rafters. Again, not a big deal, to do something like this. Nailing it might be a problem, nailing the perimeter around here. So again, just another thing to point out, this planning part of all of this stuff is the most important. I can't tell you how many times I have came to a project and I see something and it's all about poor planning, you're going to have to take consideration if you're going to put a attic access ladder or stairway in here. Is it going to be in the way of anything? Is it going to be better to shove it up against the wall here so that it's not in the way of your vehicles? You're going to have to move your car every time you go up in the attic, stuff like that. The planning part of it is going to be, again, I can't stress that enough with any project. I don't care if you're rebuilding an old bicycle or something, some thought's going to need to go into it. And I have just eliminated some of that for you by providing you with some ideas here. So sorry I can't provide you with lumber sizes. I know that's a big deal with people. I think a 2x10 for something like this spans about 17 and a half feet for a floor. But again, this isn't going to be a floor. And if you're not going to be storing heavy stuff up in here, you might be able to get away with smaller lumber, and you might even be able to space it 2 foot on center. I just cannot provide you with that because I don't know how big of an attic you're going to have. If you're going to have an attic like this, you're not going to be able to store a lot of stuff up in it. It's a 4 and 12 roof pitch. That's one thing. If this was a 12 and 12 roof pitch and you could stand up in here and you're like, hey, I'm putting an office in here. Or you're like, I'm not going to. I'm just going to store a few things in here. But the next people who buy your house are like, awesome, I'm putting an office up there with a bathroom. That's when it could become a problem.